Sorry. Good morning, good afternoon, more likely everybody. I'd first like to start my speech with a short story. It's the story of a man. And that man is isolated in a desert. And so his neck is so hot that it hurts when he swallows. But then the man walks through the desert, and at some point he says he spots a well. So he walks there, he looks into the bucket and see there is a little bit of water, just a little, not enough for him. So what he does is he throws the bucket into the well, and off it goes. Minutes have passed, nothing. But he continues. He needs that water to survive, so he continues. More minutes, still nothing. And at that point, the man lost hope. So he pulls back the rope with the bucket and drinks the very small amount of water that was inside. That man wasn't impatient. He was just in disbelief. He could no longer believe that one day, someday, that bucket will reach the well. So what he did instead, he drank what wasn't enough to satisfy him. Why did I say that? Why did I start with that story? Because it reminds me of a Malagasy saying that goes, "Alio trampit, tu izai matiantroan." Better die tomorrow than today. And like most Malagasy saying, that is a mindset. Because people in the southern of Madagascar and probably everywhere in Madagascar cannot believe in a tomorrow because poverty have taken over them. They're hungry, they need water, shelter, and so they cannot think about a simple tomorrow. Unlike you and me, who can think about in 5 years I'll be this, they can't do that. All they can do is to strive, to do all they can to survive today. And that is a big problem concerning what we are doing here. Sustainable development goals. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Quite. But then, how can we convince the people in the southern countries to let the environment, the biodiversity alive? How can we do that when they don't even think of a tomorrow? There is that saying, it wasn't a saying, it was part of a speech by a French minister. He said, sustainable development goals and economic goals are two distinct things, but they must be put together. That's the only way that we can get to save biodiversity and the environment. Only after we've convinced southern countries and the southern people of Madagascar of the line of connection between the SDGs and their daily urgencies. Only then will the SDGs really take place in the world. Don't we agree?
Yes.
Now, we have to remind them this. Let's remind the Malagasy people that even if Madagascar is funded by the most powerful countries in the world, even if Madagascar is given a lot of aid to cultivate really terrain, even if Madagascar is given millions of dollars so we can have access to clear water, that will not bring back the dried up lakes and the dried up river. Even if we build hospitals, every direction, every corner, our health will just be temporary because the world itself is sick. Even if we call Madagascar rich because of the sea creatures and all of that, as soon as the ocean gets acidified by the temperature, the high temperature, what can we do about it? You have to know that the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, are parallel goals to economic goals. Only after we fix the environment will the economy rise. Ladies, gentlemen, honorable members of the jury, and most importantly, fellow contestant, when you and I meet again, let's not make speeches that amuses people or speeches that teases people. When you and I meet again, let's not make speech that just wastes people's time. I believe that when you and I meet again, we'll be even greater leaders, and we'll make speeches that are going to shape the world. Our word will shape this world. So ladies and gentlemen, when you and I meet again, let's not just try to be funny, because when you and I meet again, it won't be about convincing any judge. It won't be about pleasing any audience. It's going to be to let the Malagasy people know of the urgency that is happening, to convince them that even though the saying says it's better to die tomorrow than today, we can survive today, but we are going to leave tomorrow. We can't do that. And we have to convince them of that, and not just to make them happy and temporarily happy of the good things that you said. To counter the quote I said earlier, I'm going to say a quote by Martin Luther King. He said, "Even if you tell me that the end of the world is tomorrow, I'd still plant a tree today." That is a quote of hope. Even if you and I think that tomorrow doesn't exist, we must still do our very best until the end comes. And we never know. Maybe that'll help. Ladies and gentlemen, when you and I meet, let's lead change. Let's erase in every Malagasy people's mind, in every southern country's mind, that the SDGs are just luxuries for powerful countries. Let's erase from their mind that tomorrow doesn't exist, and plant a hope, a new hope for them. Now, I'd like to thank you for your golden attention that you've been spending toward a 14-year-old since the very beginning. And until we meet again, there's a million things I haven't done. But till then, know that I am not throwing away my shot. Thank you.